I'm Maria Fraschilla, I'm 24, and I am a graduate student at the CUNY Grad School of Journalism. I am focusing on social journalism and, really focusing on the health and wellness community. I'm also a personal trainer at Harbor Fitness and a competitive powerlifter, which essentially means that I focus on the three main lifts: squat, bench, deadlift, and I go for 1-rep maxes. So one could say I'm pretty strong. I fell in love with sports at a really young age. I've been playing softball since I was about 4 years old. I played in high school. I played a little bit of basketball in college, not collegiately, of course, just for fun because I'm small. I really love the team aspect of sports. The way that people work together was really my biggest, love. My teams are New York Rangers. Sad we didn't make it to the Stanley Cup, but there's always next year. The Mets, I'm not going to comment on them, but I cried when Mike Piazza went into the Hall of Fame, so that should give you a little bit of, a clue. And I really hate football. Women are definitely not being respected as much as they can be in the world of sports. There are a lot of negative stereotypes that come with being a woman in sports. WNBA specifically. It's not real basketball, it doesn't count, it's not as competitive, it's not as good. And I think that is a complete lie. Everyone loves to watch the NBA, everyone loves LeBron, everyone loves Kyrie, everyone loves Steph Curry, but we should look at Brittany Griner, we should look at really any WNBA star. They've put up crazy points in college to get to where they are, and yet they're still being, scrutinized. Same goes with soccer too. You look at women's soccer, they get paid less than the men, which is pretty typical for being a female in general. Serena definitely does not get her due as one of the greatest athletes of all time. She is athletic, she's beautiful, she's proud, she's strong. That woman could destroy any man in any sport, I'm convinced, because that's how athletic she is. I don't care that she's a woman, I don't care that she's a tennis player. If Serena went one-on-one on basketball with someone, she'd probably destroy them. You've seen that ping pong commercial with Steph Curry, right? Girl's got some serves. Female athletes are viewed so negatively in the public eye. People think that it's about, looking good for a man. It's about, being super toned. It's about having abs all year round. That's not the case. You eat to perform, you play to perform, you train to perform. That's what it is. Being a female powerlifter and being a competitive powerlifter, I don't go to the gym to look great in a bikini. Is that one of the upsides? 100%. But I don't train for aesthetics. I train to be strong. I train to max out my squat. I train to max out my deadlift. Serena trains to win titles. That's what she does. People talk about her cellulite, they talk about her stretch marks. Who cares? She is one of the greatest female athletes, greatest athletes of all time. Who cares if she has cellulite on her ass? Who cares? I don't. She can perform like crazy. So really, who cares? Social media is kind of a weird animal. It's kind of an enigma. You never know what is actually positive, what's negative. You can't really tell the sentiment from behind a screen. So athletes are using social in a very strange way, but also a super beneficial way. A lot of athletes and celebrities in general are coming forward about their struggles with mental health and with body image issues and really with bullying and negativity, but there's still those bullies that hide behind the keyboard. If you're talking about sports in general, like live events, social is a really great platform. You can have highlights up instantaneously, you can have game casts and score changes and all that done on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, Facebook Live, Instagram Stories. All those things are awesome when it comes to live events. When it comes to the athlete as a person, it can be really negative, especially because they try to tear down these people's personalities and their mood and their confidence, all because the little trolls on the internet are kind of insecure. And it gets a little weird. So while I'm in grad school, I'm actually focusing on athletes with mental illness. So I'm focusing on creating a hub and a slew of resources for these athletes so that this way they're not alone and they know that there are different outlets out there. Talking to a lot of collegiate athletes, I've learned that a lot of them didn't feel like they could talk to anyone if they were suffering from depression or anxiety or anything like that. So to have an athlete have a season-ending injury, they're not going to be able to play. They're not going to be in the right mindset, but because of the aspect of mental toughness, they don't open their mouths. In order to defeat the stigma, there needs to be more talk about mental health. I think it's super taboo to not talk about it and not open up when there are so many people going through it. 1 in 10 Americans suffer from mental health issues, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, and antidepressant prescription has been up 400% since the 1980s. So when you look at those stats, if 1 in 10 people are suffering from mental illness, why aren't we talking about it more? And if athletes especially are dealing with anxiety and dealing with, performance-related stress, why aren't we talking about it? Mental health really isn't super prominent in sports because, the athletes are paid to perform. They're not paid to suffer. And the cool thing about mental health is it doesn't discriminate. So you could be an athlete, you could be a celebrity, you could be a random person on the street, and you're all gonna suffer, not the same way, but in a similar way. So the only way I can see mental health being important in sports is those athletes using their platforms to share their struggles and help other people.